Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 164. I'm your host, as always, going through the snow, killing those behemoths. It's Dan, and I'm joined by Samson, who's still been tromboning in front of the crowd.
Are you killing those behemoths, though?
No, I'm struggling. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will get to that. I have been tromboning a bit, and I am doing well, but there is much to talk about and so little time to do it. So let's get into things.
That's right. Welcome, everybody. Today we've got a few news stories. We want to just kind of break down the UploadVR Winter Showcase. There's a lot to break down, but kind of give you what our highlights were. You should definitely go watch it. It's up on YouTube on the UploadVR channel. Quest V72 update has been teased, i.e. it's out, but is it out for you? Is it out for me? When will it be out? Who's to say? We've got that to talk about. I've been playing some Behemoth. I've been playing some Action Hero. Samson, you've been Christmas caroling in VR. We got lots to talk about. A little bit to talk about. Just some quick housekeeping. Join us on the Discord below. The link's in there. It's absolutely free to do. And also, if you love us so much, patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Those $1. Those $5. Get the up podcast early. What you doing?
Hey Dan, I want to plug some. Let's get some reviews in, huh? Because you had me reading the Spotify reviews or maybe the Apple reviews. I don't know. And so that was honestly one of the first times I've done that. So I'm gonna try to be a little more active reading those reviews. Get in there. I think we're at 37 or something. Let's set a goal of let's get to 50.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think that was on Apple.
Well, I'm talking about Spotify myself there.
Spotify. Okay.
But yeah, we'll take reviews on whatever platform you're listening on, really.
Yeah, for sure. Just
it was the comments. That was it. The comments.
Yeah, we had lots of comments. We had a few reviews, but yeah, review us on Apple and Spotify and such. The reason why you bring that up is because we had our Spotify Wrapped this week, which was fun to see.
That was
top 5% of video podcasts on Spotify. So
incredible
either
stuff.
We're doing some great stuff video wise, or not many people watch video podcasts,
or both. Both. Those aren't not mutually exclusive there.
Or both. And I think we were for 66 of you out of the hundreds or so that listen to this podcast and who are subscribed to this podcast. I think 500 something are subscribed on Spotify at least. But 66 have us at their number one podcast.
Wild. 66 heroes out there. Yeah. 66 people are definitely going to the good place.
Yeah.
66 people, they're on the not naughty list, the good list, if you will.
Do you want to keep going? Do you have any more?
No, just bless y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. And
thank you so much. Yeah. The Spotify Wrapped was really fun to see. I think I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure our growth this year was 60% more listeners or such, or new listeners or such this year, and it's been great. We've been quite consistent too, right? We've been posting once a week pretty much. I think we've missed just a handful of weeks.
But we were, we each missed some time this year. I'd say more often than we had in the past, maybe. I don't know.
I think any of the missed time we had, maybe we were able to fill in with
guests. One of us was still be able to there.
Yeah, so I think we only missed 3 or 4 weeks total out of the whole year, which is pretty insane. Which is really, really solid. So I'm patting us.
Good work, Dan. Good work.
Good work, Samson. Good work. Good work. Now, as we wrap up our shows today, obviously, like I said, we've got a few things to talk about, but we are going to have a few really fun shows coming up in the next couple of weeks. In fact, next week, we're going to break down the whole of 2024, go through month by month and recap on what happened VR or mostly Quest wise. We had Underdogs come out at the start of the year, which we sometimes forget that this was year. So it's gonna be fun to go back and see and kind of talk about our favorite games and experiences. And then also the week after, which is the week of Christmas, we're going to be going through our rankings of the 2024 Walkabout courses, the DLCs, which is going to be so much fun. And obviously, I'll look ahead at 2025 in the first week of the new year. So lots of fun shows. But Samson, that's enough chitter chatter, because otherwise we're going to go on all night and it's going to be late. And I got bed to go. We got to go to bed. So let's go. Let's go to the news story. Let's start off with the Quest V72 update. We've got the biggest thing is hand tracking. It's called hand tracking 2.3, which is going to bring enhanced stability, improved accuracy, and lower latency. Samsung Meta did come out with a few points on hand tracking. Do you want to read out the few points that they had?
I'd love to do that. They're making the hand cursor more stable and responsive when navigating the universal menu. They're stabilizing the cursor while pinching, ensuring it's easier to select what you want to select. They're improving the responsiveness and stability of pinch and drag interactions, like dragging a browser tab into a new window. And they're making it easier to use hands in confined spaces, which are especially common in travel mode, like when using an airplane or a train. And finally, they're adding a new hand ray visualization to help with locating and targeting with the cursor. All fine and dandy. I wonder if you can, toggle all of these things, yeah?
I think the travel mode is the most important one. I remember with the Apple Vision Pro, you could just literally have your hands by your side, as long as the camera can at least see it. You do the pinching motion, it will be able to do it. And obviously, that utilizes eye tracking, obviously, so you can navigate with your eyes. But I think that's going to be really important. I always find the annoyance of when I do want to watch a movie in VR, whether it's through big screen doesn't even work for me. I forget the apps that I use. What are the two big apps? Moon VR is what I use, and
Pig.
No, not Pig. The other one, the main one, yellow
Skybox.
Skybox, that's the one. They're the two that I kind of flick between, depending on if I want pass through or virtual reality. To be honest, I really like Moon VR's pass through. To be honest, but it's still annoying. Like I do that in hand tracking and it just sees my hands. So then all of a sudden the navigation pops up or it gets me to move or pinch by mistake, and there's not really a way. I mean, maybe the apps can do it, but there's not really a way to kind of just turn off hand tracking when I'm watching. And then maybe I, do a few pinches on my hands to activate again. That'll be really nice. But it's always good to see some hand tracking improvements.
Yeah. They'd be working on it. It's important stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I mean, I use it mostly when I boot up and I'm trying to do something in side quests or something like this where I'm not about to head into a game. Or, if I'm playing a hand tracking game, I tend to use hand tracking for that.
Yeah, like Squingle, for example, is really good for hand tracking, to be honest. Okay, moving on. We got a few more features for V72. For you Windows users out there, which I am not, Windows 11 integration. I'm actually, now that I have a Steam Deck, I'm now Linux.
Oh yeah, you're the coolest.
Yeah, now I'm navigating Linux.
I'm not even that cool.
Windows 11 integration. I think this integration brings a lot of different features. I did not write it down, to be honest with you, but the biggest thing is obviously when you have your laptop open or have your computer open, there's a little button on there that you can just pinch, and then all of a sudden you can have that screen in your VR headset. It's just kind of how you've seen Apple Vision Pro work.
Yeah, it's basically automatic from what I've read.
Yeah, so Samson, you might need to test that out if you were interested. I mean, you don't really like to work in VR, really. It's not really a thing,
No,
you do virtual desktop, if anything, or VR. Virtual desktop.
Yeah, that's what I use mostly.
Moving on then, pass-through cutout for any keyboard. This is already a feature in apps like Immersed, for example, where you would work in VR, which is really handy because some keyboards are supported, like the Logitech MX keys are the ones that the keyboard that I have is great because it becomes like a digital keyboard. But sometimes you're on your laptop, or sometimes you don't have that keyboard. Now you can just create like a pass-through cutout, like a rectangle, and then you can just see your keyboard. Which actually, even though the digital MX keys works, I haven't gone in immersed and worked in VR for quite a while now, actually. But when I did, I actually preferred the cutout just because I could see my own fingers, because sometimes the tracking wouldn't be perfect. Yeah, exactly. So that's nice. That's now come natively.
I will say maybe I will try both of these last two, just because I feel like they're useful for showing off VR to people who might potentially find use in that.
Yeah, it's another feature. Yeah, a lot of people. That's what the marketing is for Apple Vision Pro, pretty much, is productivity and media consumption. And this is, not many people. Everyone keeps thinking Quest is a gaming headset, which is why. It primarily is, but it's why a lot of Meta marketing videos recently have been non-gaming wise. So they're trying to push this. So, yeah, definitely test it out. The next thing is that there's a new gallery app coming for spatial videos, photos, and screenshots. Just keeps your kind of media all neat and tidy in there. This is a cool one, automatic call captions. So with let's say we're on a MetaQuest call, and you can have live transcript come up on there, which is cool. Really nice. Yeah, it's really nice.
Think it'll
translate? A really cool feature.
Eventually?
Not yet, but I think eventually, yeah. Eventually, yeah. That'd be cool if you can, it gets AI to translate immediately or something like that.
Dan,
for sure.
I keep forgetting to utilize spatial video capture on my phone. It's something I really need to do more. So I can.
Yeah, because you have a 15, right?
16. Also, the new basic 16,
Yeah, that's something you should definitely do. Hey, Christmas is coming up. Take a few videos.
Yeah. Take a few videos. Maybe I'll do the tree.
Or you know what you should do? You should take a couple videos and put them in a Google Drive, upload that to our Discord, so then all of us can enjoy it as well. And see, because because I don't know, I have over 13, so I can't, You
can share my living room with me.
Exactly. Yeah. Show me your Christmas tree in spatial audio.
Exactly.
Video.
I'll even put out hot cocoa for you.
Oh, beautiful. And some mulled wine, maybe.
No.
What was that pushing?
I don't know what that is. It sounds disgusting.
You don't know what mulled wine?
Moldy wine?
It's just like,
I don't know what moldy wine.
No, mulled wine. It's like a hot wine basically. It's wine with a bunch of spices, like not like hot spices, like
I understand,
spices like cardamom and such.
Nutmeg.
Yeah, those kind of things. Exactly, right. It's beautiful. It's delicious. I actually prefer it to hot chocolate sometimes, because I could drink many glasses of mulled wine. With hot chocolate, I can do one, and I can't do anymore.
Yeah. It's heavy.
It is heavy, which I found out recently. I've had too many hot chocolates recently. Moving on, travel mode indicator is now available, which is going to basically show up in your dock. So it stops you from basically turning it on by mistake. There was a lot of complaints with travel mode where people will turn it on, get home, and then our tracking stop working, and they'll forget that it's because the travel mode's on. So now there's going to be an indicator in the dock. And then finally, Instagram DMs are going to be in the Quest, so I can slide into your DMs
in VR
in virtual reality. Exactly, and that's your update. Now, as all updates, these will be gradually spread across the next few weeks. Maybe you'll get it in time for Christmas, maybe not.
See you next year.
Yeah, exactly. Or you, like I have got in the past. I haven't checked my Quest today actually, but I've already got V72 sometimes. I get it much sooner than you, it seems, Samson. But then when I update it, most of those features aren't in there. Yeah. So it's really weird, and I'm going to bring it up every time they release an update. But so yeah, and then some of these things may not even come. They've announced them, but sometimes they get pushed back right at the end. So anyway, there's your V72 update, which might or may not happen.
Let's get to the games.
Let's get to the games. So, UploadVR Winter Showcase breakdown. Let's get into it. So, this was last week. Yeah, last week. I actually forgot about it. When we recorded our podcast last week, we should have mentioned it, that it would be happening, but I honestly totally forgot about it. There was a lot of games, and they did follow this up with the XR awards as well. I think they announced Asgard's Wrath 2 as the best VR game this year for the XR awards. At least this is different to the
Game Awards,
video game awards. Yeah. Shout out to Matteo 311 who won VR content creator, a friend of the show, and obviously been on twice before.
That's sort of might have propelled him.
Yeah, I think it was us. Yeah. I think it was our show. No, he's been putting in so much work. I don't subscribe to many VR just because I kind of want my own opinion and such when it comes to the podcast and such. But he is one of the, like, I think two, if not, he might be the only one or two. I can't remember. I don't subscribe to many, but he's one of the only ones that I do subscribe to. I also really like his opinion on things, and he's been putting in a lot of work. Like, there's been a lot of videos out. I'm not sure how many. He must have been well over 100 videos, maybe even 200 videos this year. And he's been putting in work.
Yeah.
And his thumbnail's looking pretty nice too. So, well deserved. Moving on to the games, though. There were so many games in there.
There was also I think there was a side quest indie showcase after this as well with a bunch of games. I did not catch that one yet, though. I do want to watch a replay.
I did not even realize. So, yeah, go watch that on YouTube if you want those. Yeah. A lot of games. You'll have to watch the showcase to see every game, but let's pick out a few of our favorites here. Samson, I'll start with you. Yep.
I'm going to throw a curveball because I didn't bold this one in the article. But the Among Us Roundup limited time event. A little Western theme, some new cosmetics you can buy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's
a mustache.
I'm not sure if it's a new map or they've just updated the cosmetics of a map. I couldn't tell from the trailer we saw.
The trailer, yeah.
But there is a new role as well called the Deputy, and the Deputy, I believe, he's the Führer, if you will. He's in charge. He has full say on who stays and who goes. And so it sounds like everybody's going to be having to talk to the deputy, and then the deputy gets to decide. And Dan, I hope the deputy decides that Noble Squashy is the imposter in all of my games.
Yeah, I think, by the way, I think this is more just skins and hats in terms of and then obviously the new rollers,
but I saw the doors were Western themed as well.
Yeah, the doors are Western themed. It looks like a map that's already in there as far as I see from a screenshot, but then the doors have been changed to kind of like the Western doors. But I could be wrong. I'm also on their website right now as you talk about this, and they don't mention anything to do with
a new map.
A new map.
They haven't.
No. But yeah, that's really cool. I want to shout out Synth Riders with their Barbie DLC.
I'm a Barbie
I did not see that one coming.
In the Barbie world.
Did not see that one coming. I'm not sure if I'm personally, going to be looking forward to this one as much as their other maps, but, who am I to say? Maybe I will get into it. Some of the maps sometimes it is quite pink. Have you done it?
I have not, but I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, it's very pink. But yeah, Synth Riders Barbie, which is coming out. Did Barbie come out this year or was that last year?
Barbie, didn't that come out like 2020, dude?
No, that came out last year, 2023. It was that Barbie Oppenheimer deal. It's good. I watched it in the cinema. It was I actually laughed a lot.
There you have it. Honestly, I was a little sad this wasn't the Aqua Barbie song. But, I'll take what I can get.
That's fair. What you got?
Oh, I've got Q's. Q's is a game that I hopped into. I talked a little bit about. And by I hopped into the menu, and I still haven't gone back in. I've been real busy IRL. But Q's is one I really do want to hop back into. It's one I saw my buddy Guanatu. He actually, on Twitter, he said that he had Phantom Touch playing this game because the audio and the visuals and everything just worked together so well that he actually could feel, because it's all hand tracking aim, he could feel it.
Yep.
And yeah, I did solve a few of the puzzles. So maybe I did play a little bit more, but I haven't played a lot. And
I'll see. I mean, I saw that the mixed reality is really cool because it does really react to your room, like the real ball, how it just
100%.
jumps across and
And you
such.
can
Yeah.
get 2 balls, you can get 3, and maybe even 4. I have 2 balls. You unlock the 3rd and 4th by watching trailers of the other games.
Yeah.
Which I've done, but it doesn't seem to be registering that I've done it. So I've got to figure that out because I want 4 balls. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Q's.
It's funny because it seems like this game would be perfect playing it in complete darkness because the balls are like neon and they light up. And
there's a
such.
meter, like a mixed reality meter. You can control the darkness of your world, and you can turn it all the way down. And I did that, and it felt like I was at a light show. It was very cool.
That is sick. Yeah, and yeah, it's made by Mr. Potam.
I don't know.
I don't know exactly how to pronounce, but he's a friend of the show. He's the one who's behind. I was about to say synth riders, Smash Drums, and yeah,
that Blood game, the one where you're in mixed reality where you're killing all the unicorns.
I'm blanking on that.
I think
name,
it's called Blood,
but yes,
I think BLUD.
I just want to shout out because this is totally free right now. It's going to be $9.99 eventually, but it's totally free right now. So go pick it up. It's called Q's, CUES, and it's just a really fun mixed reality game. And just really simplistic and minimalistic, and like you said, with the spatial audio and the visuals,
so
this is going to add to our cozy game list that we had.
It essentially plays a tune or a beat or some sort of note every time this ball touches these cubes, and there's a bunch of cubes inside this cube that you're trying to get. You can and you can hit the cubes too into the ball, or the ball into the cubes, etc. It's quite. Take the cue and just get cues. All right, Dan, what's next?
I want to shout out a random one, Rival Stars Horse Racing in VR. Rival Stars Horse Racing, I believe it's just a flat screen game. Never heard of it, not really cared too much, but I didn't really, it starts off that you're just in like a farm with your horses and such. I'm like, okay, I'm not really interested in this, but all of a sudden you start racing, and I didn't realize it was horse racing, and you become a jockey, and it just looks really fun. That's all. I don't know. It's definitely probably not a game that I'm going to pick up, but if they gave me a code, but it just looked really fun. A jockey game, being on your horse, just like, I'm thinking of Kramer at the betting shop.
Giddy up.
Just hitting his giddy up. Exactly. Exactly. That's all I can think of. Anyway, that's
his mother's a mutter and his father's a mutter. Yeah. All right. Way to be thoroughbred. Okay. Next up, we got Slot Car, which kind of looks like resembled Trackcraft, which, if you also don't know Trackcraft, it's a game where you're setting up a road in mixed reality, a track, if you will, and the slot car is a slot car track. And a slot car is a little, think of a Hot Wheels with like a pin in it, and so it slots into the track and then stays in that slot. And it looks like there were 2 of them. I don't know. Maybe you can set up more.
It's like the Scare Electric in toys that you got back in the day. I mean, I don't know if I think they still do them nowadays. I think they got Mario ones and such.
I had them as a kid.
I think as a kid, I think as a kid, they were always quite expensive. So I don't think we didn't have the money enough to get like one of those cool ones with the loops and such. I think I always got, I think I got it once, and it was just like a basic. It was
a loop-de-loop.
Round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a loop.
Not a loop-de-loop. It was like a circle.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it was just a circle. That's it, and they were just going round and round and round and round. It was not those really cool ones that you see with loops and like jumps and all. Not jumps, but like up platforms, down platforms, all those things. But I had the loop. But now you can do some crazy stuff like that in the Slot Car VR.
It was multiplayer, same space, which looked very cool. So you can basically build a track with a buddy and then drive your track with that buddy or with a different buddy.
Yeah, and it's available now. It's $10,999 on the store. I think it's early access at the moment and mixed reality. Yeah, it just looks. It's not something that I would ever thought would play, but I actually think it would be kind of fun.
Definitely.
The child in me would be have a great time right
There's
now.
a child in
But
you?
yeah, that's Slot Carvia. There's somewhere. There's somewhere. Samson, I want to point out this next game. So I was watching this Upload VR showcase, and this next I Am Cat came on, which I do have on my Quest, but I haven't got time to. I haven't had time to play it yet. But all of a sudden, this next game came on screen, and it looked so good, and I was like, "Wow, this game might be the one out of this whole showcase." And then it ended up being Vertigo 2, the new DLC in Into the Ether, and it's on Steam, obviously, and PSVR
No.
2. But I don't think the DLC is on PSVR 2 yet. No. So yeah, Sam. I mean, you're the Vertigo 2 fan here. Are you excited?
Dan, I'm very excited to hop back into Vertigo 2. I have pre-ordered this one, and it looks fantastic. Looks great. I'm very excited to hop back in. I might even have to get back into Vertigo before I get back into that.
Yeah, just to get used to it again. Yeah, fair enough. I guess the next one is my pick here, Shardfall. I just wanted to point this out because it was a fitness game which didn't look that interesting at first, but then I kind of got into it with the trailer. So it's you're in this I don't know, like mystical world kind of say, and you're fighting these big ass bosses, and it's mostly like punching, uppercuts, those kind of fitness attributes, and you can do it in mixed reality as well. But as the trailer was getting more and more in depth, there's a whole adventure mode. There's just there's games that you can mini games that you can play. There's just a free play as well, and it's not just like fighting. There's also running as well. So there's an obstacle course that you have to kind of run and jump and kind of jog on the spot and squat and such. Yeah. And it's like a very gamified fitness game. Just a little bit different to something like Supernatural as you're wearing the hoodie right now on the
free ad
on the pod and Fit XR and
mustard.
All right, Kendrick. It just looked really good. Is this the game that kind of at the start of the trailer just meh, but then as the trailer's getting on, it actually quite sold me. I thought this was a really cool game. You get to upgrade your character and you get to change its look and such. And there's a bunch of stats that you'll get at the end of each one. And yeah, Shardfall looks really cool. I don't think this is a release date for now. January 2025. But yeah, that's my last pick.
Well, Dan, my last one is Galactic Traffic Control. And if you've heard of the cell phone game called Flight Control, it plays basically like that. And so it is a hand tracking game, and you need to essentially click on a airplane and then guide it in the air into its landing spot. And then the puzzle, I believe, comes in when there's a bunch of different planes and you can't get them. You need to get them to land all on their different landing spots without colliding, obviously. And then you add in other, puzzle, other spaceships, other puzzles, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice little simple game, if you will.
This looks great.
But
this looks great, but it can be chaotic.
Yeah, exactly.
These kind of games,
right? A fun chaos, kind of like an overcooked chaos, if you will, like an overwhelming.
Yeah. I would think that this would be easier to play than Flight Control on the iPad because I feel like that's not an iPhone game, to be honest. It's more of an iPad game because I think with the screen it can get really chaotic on Flight Control on the phone or on the iPad rather, but on this one at least you have your whole room to kind of play with. But the thing is, it's cool because not only can you mixed reality a track, a runway which has the 4 portals, you can also have the 4 portals that you need to guide your spaceships through. You can scatter it all around the house. So I could put one in the kitchen, one in the living room, one in the bedroom, and then guide the spaceships all over the place. It could be, that is too much moving. Maybe just limit it to one room. But you could do that if you wanted to, which is kind of fun. But yeah, that's available now. I think that's $4.99 on there, and that's I agree with you. I think that's one that I would I actually want to pick that one up.
$4.99. It's in your price range.
I don't know. Behemoth cost me like $50
it was
or
not
whatever
cheap.
it was. I think it was like 55 Canadian. No, it was not cheap. That was a very expensive game. It might be the most expensive game I've ever paid for on Quest, actually. Batman was cheaper. Batman was like $10 Canadian cheaper, I remember. So, yeah. I think Batman was like 40. Maybe Batman was 50. I can't remember now. Batman was a while ago now. Anyway, last news story before we move on to part 2 and what we've been playing. Just want to mention this is a cool announcement. Meta and James Cameron, director for
friend
Avatar,
of the show,
for example, and Titanic. Yeah, friend of the show. In fact, he's coming over for Christmas and helping me build my Jaws
no need to
Lego
be ridiculous
set that I've got ordered.
Right?
That's exactly what he's doing. Or at least he's FaceTiming me while I build this Jaws Lego set. Anyway, James Cameron and Meta have partnered up to bring 3D content to Quest. So this is coming from his new company called Lightstorm Vision. And Meta says the partnership will bring world-class 3D entertainment experiences spanning live sports and concerts, feature films, and TV series featuring big-name IP to Horizon OS. And this is something that we probably won't see for a while, but it's a great acquisition. It's needed acquisition because we have Apple Vision Pro dominating with one. They have obviously got the Disney Plus partnership, and we've had even like a Marvel What If, I think, immersive world that came in and such like that. But also Apple have been doing their own immersive content. I think the Weekend concert was the biggest one recently.
I've heard
there may have been another one that I forget, which you can actually preview in the
I've
stores.
Heard mixed reviews over some of their content, but I have heard some really like the highs of some of the really immersive.
Yeah, and also they've got I'm not sure if they're doing this or is it just in the trailer with the MLS, or is that something for next season? I'm not too sure. But when I remember doing the demo in Apple Vision Pro, and the trailer, at least for the MLS, looked really cool, really sharp. Obviously, it's been a trailer, not the actual live experience. But all that to say is that this is really needed for Meta. We've talked about this many times. Their content on the Quest TV, some of it is actually pretty good, but it's so lost in there as well. So hopefully something like this could bring a whole new experience when it comes to the Oculus TV app, because they've updated in V72, for example. They've just had a new gallery app. The biggest app that needs updating is the Oculus TV app, because you cannot find anything in there and it's still a total mess, and that needs to be like curated. And I hope this like helps make curated content and makes that ecosystem much better. Or they might limit it to be like, you go into Horizon World to watch this and stuff, and I hope they don't do that because they've been pushing that as well.
Yeah, speaking of that, I did see there's an ESPN tailgate in Meta Horizon World now where it's like you can do like a first take and there's a whole bunch of stuff to check out. It did look kind of interesting. But anyway, this is exactly what I want, Dan. I want more 3D content. I want more immersive entertainment experiences. And this is going to take years, I imagine, to develop at the very least.
Yeah, I would do, but like, also I just realized that Jaws is not James Cameron. I was pretty sure that's Steven Spielberg. I'm not sure. I think I absolutely ruined that joke, but never mind. But Avatar 3 comes out next year at the end of the year. It'd be interesting to see if maybe in 2026, maybe the DVD release, the streaming release of Avatar, they bring it to Meta for Quest 4, maybe, or such.
If you could pay to see theater movie 3D movies in VR when they come to theaters, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, that'd be, or like at least not even in theater, like even when they come to, I feel like they come to TV often now. I'm not saying streaming, I'm saying like just to download from like Prime, like to on Apple TV or something like that. So, I feel like normally time, apart from like the rare film, it's normally like 6 weeks, and then they're now available. So to have like Avatar come out, at Christmas time next year, and then be like, okay, now it's February. It's now exclusive to Meta for a little bit in VR.
I will say I want more content built for VR itself than opposed to
me too.
A movie that's also being, or like even a movie built for 3D. Like I don't feel like Avatar is built for 3D. I feel like 3D is an add-on.
Continuing with my Jaws reference that I completely butchered last time. Let's bring Jaws 3D into VR. That's what we
friend of the show, Steven Spielberg. So,
right, yeah. Even though I mistake him from James Cameron, easy mistake.
I'd be mixing up my friends all the time.
Right, exactly. Yeah. They're both coming for coffee. All right, that'll wrap up part 1. Part 2, we're going to get into what we've been playing and Behemoth. So we'll see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
Welcome back to part 2, what we've been playing. And Samson, we got to start at Behemoth because that is the feature game for this podcast episode.
It's in the title.
It is in the title. I believe we both played equally amount. Samson, you played on PSVR 2, I'm assuming?
I have played on the PSVR 2. It looks beautiful.
Right.
What have you been playing on? A potato?
The Quest. The Quest 3. Okay. So I've felt like I played a couple hours of it, but you've only played an hour, and I feel like we're at the same spot. So I've died so many times, at many different stages, like just from just normal combat. In terms of like, it's taken me a while to get used to the combat itself.
I'm better at this combat than I am, I think, the Batman combat, but that is not to say that I'm good at combat. I just have to. I'm better at reminding myself, oh, look, there's a tree I can pull into this enemy, and like using environmental things and all that jazz, and using the power up you have that you can just tear through anything quite easily.
I always forget that. So let's kind of set the scene here. So Behemoth, made from Skydance Games, who are The Walking Dead is the biggest ones, right? Walking Dead 1 and 2. And you can see a lot of similarities for The Walking Dead and Behemoth in terms of, in a way, combat to a certain extent. We'll talk about that in a second. But then there's the health and the stamina bars. Even the way they look is straight from Walking Dead. The actual like NPCs are all kind of cut from the same cloth as The Walking Dead in terms of how they...
The physics engine, too.
The engine as well, exactly. So, I mean, it must be... I think it's built on the same engine as The Walking Dead 2, but I could be wrong, but it feels incredibly similar. So, this game, Samson, it's about killing behemoths, okay? You're a guy or a girl, depending on who you choose at the start. And there seems to be like this curse on you, or at least there's this woman in the back of your head who is definitely cursed, and you want to go kill the behemoths because they're causing destruction. And it seems like all of the enemies that you're fighting, they all worship the behemoths. So, that's why they're all attacking you and such. And there's a few cool things about this game where, first of all, the environments are... I would say that it's cool to be in a snowy environment. I'll tell you that now. And going into the tombs with with one of those torches, with a fire torch going around because it's quite dark, and then you have your torch and you're going around your tombs. It kind of gives me some sort of Indiana Jones kind of vibes. In Quest, it works just fine. Like it is, sometimes it's absolutely pitch black almost, and I can't find the torch, so I'm just like trying to get through and such, and it does work really well. Like Metro is also a game that one would say would suffer in the quest, but it actually is fine going through. Like it does actually work really well. Of course, it's not going to be as good, but it actually works well. Things I really do like about it. I'm at the Behemoth. I can't defeat the Behemoth. I've died many different times. And I'm trying to figure it out. And I actually just had a look at a walkthrough earlier today just to see what the person did. Yeah. And I was like, I am doing the right thing. I am trying to find the right thing. I'm just not good at trying to get the right thing. Because on the Behemoth itself, there's basically a few points where you have to pull down with your grapple rope, and then you have to climb the Behemoth and actually hit it at its pain points to kind of bring it down. And the second one I was really struggling at because I was trying to find it for so long, and I'm pretty sure it was by its head where I thought, and I couldn't grapple it down. But then I saw the walkthrough, and I yeah. But so I'll hop back in maybe sometime this week and try and defeat the Behemoth. But that is the part that I really like about it. I really like fighting the Behemoth is really fun in a way because it's something that we've not had in VR. The sense of scale of how big this like giant is, and it's like it's trying to stomp on you. It's got obviously the big ball in this case. Obviously, there's different types. There's like there's flying types and such in the future, but it's just really cool. Like I've never experienced that. What did you think when have you fought the Behemoth at least? Have you, or you just at that stage?
Well, I mean, I made it to the Behemoth and it killed me a couple times. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna come back to this game in a bit. But just very visually, very beautiful game. I took many screenshots. Just you're walking on cliffs and just looking off into the distance. It looks very, very nice. What weapons have you been using?
So I always have like a pack of 3, like a pack of 3. From like I got something from Target.
Smoke them if you got them.
Yeah. A pack of 3 daggers on the left side. They're ready to throw. Because the one thing there's a lot of jankiness in this game, at least in the Quest version. I'm not sure about the PlayStation version. Have you found like any jankiness in terms of the physics or the mechanics or anything like that?
I haven't personally run into much jankiness that I can tell.
So the PSVR 2, has the day 1 patch already, right? Where the Quest 1 at the time of recording still hasn't received that initial patch the PSVR 2 had. So this could be the difference, right, in terms of the experiences there. But all that to say, we'll talk about that or like the negatives a bit later on. But the daggers are really helpful because I'm finding that sometimes when the combat, it's just easier for me to just throw the dagger and kill them.
Daggers throw nicely. It's satisfying.
Yeah, when you get it right, it throws nicely. When you have like, there's a sword that you get very early on in the game. It's not really a spoiler, but it's a sword that you need to take down the Behemoth. It's a very linear game. Like you can't really get lost in this game, at least in this first hour or two. But that sword itself is like, if you played God of War on the PlayStation, like similar to your axe, where you can throw it, and then if you tap the grip button, it comes back to you. If you double tap it, it goes straight to your holster, which is really handy. I find throwing that sword very difficult. And I don't know if it's because of jankiness, like the amount of times I throw it and it just spins and just falls on the ground. But sometimes with the dagger, I can get it just right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just the physics of it, or it's just like I said, the jankiness of the Quest version at the moment. But I'm finding throwing the sword at least very difficult. But yeah, they're the only 2 I use, because in terms of the arrows and bow and arrow, I can't really find any. Like I find lots of arrows, but sometimes I don't find a bow for so long, and then I can't store the arrows unless I have the bow. But it's a bit confusing to me. But what about you? What do you normally use?
All right, Dan. So you actually get eight weapon slots. You get 2 on your waist and then 2 up top. And then if you hold, I forget which button it is, it'll change them to be 2 more and 2 more.
Oh, I never realized that.
Me neither. I watched a Substatica YouTube video, friend of the show. And he had a tips video, and I checked that out. And I was like, because honestly, I thought I lost that sword, because I was like, I thought I left it over my shoulder. And I think what I actually did was I held that button and changed the
I probably
the
did that
slot,
with the arrows.
and then I couldn't get to them. Yeah. But I've mostly been using like sort of a long sword, and I just go into battle with that, and I use my grapple a lot to pull things into enemies and such.
Yeah,
and then here and there, if I pick up a bow and arrow, I'll kill a couple enemies with it. But yeah, I haven't stuck with that yet.
No, I also find that, let's say I'm high enough to use the bow and arrow, the enemies below me end up going straight to the wall. Like, say if I'm up the top here, they go straight to the wall at the bottom. So I feel like that's just enemies being a bit silly, but then I can't bow and arrow them. So maybe they're being quite clever in some sense. But yeah, I'm finding so let's talk about the combat a little bit. So the combat is very much like your classic sword style. Parrying is going to be a big part of this game because you have a lot of enemies that have a lot of armor, and the only way to get rid of that armor is either to parry them, which is like basically swinging as they're about to swing at you. And it's sometimes really hard because the enemies actually kind of got like a Batman aspect of it, because even if they're slightly further away, as soon as they hit, they come rushing at you as they hit, kind of like how Batman, where you can just swing a punch and then you go rushing at them as well. So it's a little bit gone.
So Static, I had a tip about this though, and it was the dual wield swords.
I need to watch this video.
Dual wield swords and have them out in front of you, so that you double the chance that you'll get the parry or at least the block.
That's a good idea, because I don't really use a shield.
Yeah, I don't use a shield either.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So parrying's good, and then obviously the odd chance if you find an axe, you can use the axe for like armory. But I only found one, and then I didn't realize I had that many weapon slots, so I ended up having to throw it away because I was like, I only got daggers and my sword here. I don't have
need the daggers.
I need those daggers. Here's what actually, before I go into what I don't like about it, Samson, is there anything that you wanted to speak about in terms of positives about this game?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm too early into this game to talk much like positive, negatives.
Yeah.
Just all like first impressions, really.
First impressions, yeah.
I haven't really experienced anything that I haven't enjoyed so far. It's very beautiful. Feels good to be in there. I feel like I felt some of the face haptics. Everything just feels great. It looks good. I've had a pretty smooth experience so far, and I haven't necessarily heard that about everybody on PlayStation either, but I feel like more of the issues are sort of further into the game. I feel like if any part of the game's probably been played the most, it's this first hour.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those games that I actually do miss the PlayStation VR 2, to be honest with you. I think this game, to me, when I saw, I was not going to bother looking at the PSVR 2 version at all, but when I saw the walkthrough, it was I think he was playing it on PSVR, and it looked phenomenal. Like it looked so good, and it's so different to the Quest version. Like it's so ridiculous. And I did some digging, and I actually looked at, I think UploadVR's review said this. Oh no, when they were talking about the day patches, and they said that the Behemoth on the Quest 3 seems like it's just optimized for the Quest 2. Oh no, that's what it was. They did an article which they showed the visual quality between all the different versions, and it looked like the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 version was very, very similar, to be honest. Like very similar. Like there's some sort of differences, but very similar. And it seems like
it worked on the Quest 2. That's honestly impressive.
Yeah, so they basically made it for the Quest 2. I think because it got announced for Quest 2 originally, like it was first always going to be a Quest 2 game, then it seemed to be shifted to as this is a PSVR 2 game. That becomes their marketing, to be honest. But I think maybe because they promised Quest 2, or at least at the start, they wanted to push it out on there. I think that was a bad decision. I feel like they should have, left it or delayed this version and really try to make the assets better on Quest 3.
Think about the sales, Dan.
The player space. Yeah. A lot of people getting Quest 3S's for Christmas, though.
But millions of people have Quest 2s. You're just like...
That's true.
I do feel like that is sort of a limiting factor in this game, and makes me can't look forward to even their next game, knowing that it'll be on a not Quest 2 mobile chip. So honestly, I hope the next one's kind of built for the Quest 4. before. So
yeah, exactly. So this is my like negatives for it, and albeit this is like an hour and a half, 2 hours in of the game, so still not into it too much. But so visually, it suffers on the quest. Like it does look very basic. There's a lot of pop-ins that happen frequently. However, visuals aren't everything, and like Metro is a perfect case in point. Metro and Quest doesn't look that great, especially compared to something like Batman, or some of the other big games that we played before. Assassin's Creed even still looks better than Metro and such, but Metro is really good, like really fun, and and you can kind of get past the visuals if it's a really good game. This one, I'm struggling to get in. I mean, I'm going to push through for sure. I'm definitely waiting for the update on the day 7 patch to see if it does much or such. But the environment to me feels very bare and very empty. Like there's hardly any character to it. There's hardly any life to it. Like you're kind of in this like snowy storm.
We haven't made it to like, I feel like we haven't made it to like the town to like upgrade stuff, and you know what I mean?
No,
like,
we haven't yet. We haven't, and that's what I mean. Like just like initial impressions, You're right. Like this could change, but right now the environment's very empty. You go down to the tombs, and there's not much going on in the tombs. Like there's this one area where you finally get the sword, which is cool because there's like puzzles, and then there's like.
I don't know, Dan. I was dying to get there.
What do you mean?
I was dying to get to the tombs.
You were like dying to get to the tombs, like you were excited, or were you just dying a lot getting to the tombs?
Like excited.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Dan, it's a pun because it's where dead people go, Dan.
Yeah, this is where I got confused. God damn your puns. God damn your puns. A lot of jankiness in the Quest version. The grapple hook, for example, it's a fun idea where you can use the grapple hook to actually pull things down. You can grab the rope and such, and that's how you defeat the behemoths as well, at least the first one. But a lot of jankiness in the Quest version. Like it doesn't feel natural at all to kind of use it, because sometimes you want to grapple and then like swing across to the next platform and such. I've died many times trying to swing and just falling down and just.
I also haven't mastered the grapple movement mechanism. Is one button's to go down and like decrease your height, one's to increase your height, and then the trigger I think is to release. And so sometimes I end up pressing the wrong button.
Me too.
But it feels good. I just have to get used to the controls.
I might be getting used to it.
I did see somebody pull an enemy with it closer a little bit, but I haven't been able to do that.
So there are upgrades. You'll see that on your actual player, there's a scroll that you can take off and pull that off, and there's upgrades and such. And also, there's a I mean, you've had this in the game where you do find an upgrade for your grapple, and you just add it to your grapple on the left. And then that's now able to pull items towards you, so you can grab stuff that are far as well. So there are upgrades that might be something to come, and that I'm excited to see those upgrades, because I feel like once you get more powerful, this game, at least to me, will be a bit more fun to play. Like the stamina, for example, is very difficult at start, because when you're blocking and parrying and swinging, or when you're swinging at least, you lose a lot of stamina. Like not only are you tired. Yeah, not only are you tired in real life, but even in the game, you get really tired, and then your sword goes all flimsy and such. And it's a cool concept, but it's quite hard at the start when you like you said,
personally,
only like 2 or 3 swings, and your stamina goes down.
My combat amounts to making a fist, going into whatever like power mode that is, getting as many hits in as I can, running away and running around until it recharges, making a fist and going in and causing a
Fair enough. You're the power guy. I keep forgetting to do that. What I really like, by the way, there's a boss just before the behemoth, which was you're just in this confined area, and this is like this massive giant knight, basically. That was really fun, because that's when you finally learned where, like, if the strikes flash red, that means they're going to hit you no matter what. So you got to just get out the way.
Did you know,
and you can press A to dash.
When you dash, you're invincible?
No.
Me neither.
I need to watch this tips.
No, that was in the net. I learned that watching PSVR Without Parole. But yeah, when you dash, you can't be hit for that dash.
Fair enough. So okay, so like maybe this is enough for like our impressions, to be honest, because it's still early days. Me on the Quest, I'm still waiting for this day 7 patch to see if it fixes a bunch of these issues. We both kind of got to go through the game, but I'll leave it at this. My biggest problem so far is that the world feels empty and bare. I think of something like Asgard's Wrath 2, Metro, even Batman as well. Like these worlds are very captivating and interesting to explore, even though it's still a linear game, at least for the last two I just mentioned. Even Walking Dead, the two previous games, had so much more character to the world itself. And this is what I'm missing so far. Now, this could come in the future. Like, I haven't played more than this so far, so it can come. So those of you who are listening to this who have played 6-7 hours, maybe you're like, no, Dan, it's continues more the same. But I'm anticipating that it's going to be more, that the world's going to be a bit more vibrant after this first Behemoth and such. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, and we'll revisit this in a future podcast for sure.
All right.
Samson, anything you've been playing other than Behemoth?
Yeah, a few things. I'll talk about Breachers. Their new map came out, and it is a mall, and it is by far
that's fun.
The coolest map now. Total recency bias, admittedly, but it is so cool. It kind of feels like they took the size of their last new map, Dam, and the confined sort of spaces of one of their previous other maps, Ship, and smushed them together. And there's so many nooks and crannies. For some reason, there's a few rooms with breakable walls, so you can break into this room in your base, but there's no. It just outlets right into another section of your base. It's very interesting. And then another one, I noticed there was just a cutout in the top part of the wall, so you could throw a drone up there and see in, and or throw grenades over. Very cool. There's a little arcade area, reminded me of Walkabout, and
it's fun.
Yeah, the Breachers new map, and they did a bunch of balancing changes. So they changed the prices of a bunch of guns, changed, I think, maybe reload speeds on a few of them, things of the sort. It's feeling great. We had a great time. We've been filling our lobby. We've been filling almost 2 lobbies. Check out Farmer True, friend of the show, on Twitch, YouTube, and everything else. He streams like 9 days a week or something like that. It's pretty nuts, but he be in Breachers too, and they keep adding content. It's so good to see. Had a great time in Breachers. 5-on-5 tactical shooter there.
I've not seen this map at all, but one of my favorite maps in Call of Duty was Terminal, and Terminal was you're at obviously the airport, but the being inside the building kind of felt like a mall, because you'll have some of the shops and such, in the airport and such. So that's what it kind of does. My brain went straight to there, and I was like, that is one of my favorite maps. It's so much fun. Just because you're fighting in feels like a real life place that you were there every day. Really cool. Okay.
What have you been playing, Dan?
Samson, I want to talk about my game of the week.
Whoa. It wasn't Behemoth?
It's not Behemoth.
It's not Trombone Champ?
No. Maybe when they
Game
fix
of the year, Trombone?
No, that's Game of the Year, and that was talked about recently. But the game that I've played this week, which I've had the most fun in, is Action Hero. Action Hero comes out this week, thanks to, I think, Fast Travel Games, I want to say, who gave us the code to Action Hero. So thanks to them. Really, really fun game. So let me tell you about it. So first of all, visually, it looks like it's got those cartoony visuals. Think Dead Second, something like that.
Cinti Studios. Kind of visuals. Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah. So basically, the whole idea of this game, this is one of the games that was shown in the gaming showcase earlier this year, and it kind of stood out to us. It's got that Super Hot-esque vibe to it, where things are happening in slow motion, and as you move, the time gets faster. Okay, it's not like Super Hot where everything can be just dead still. Like, things still do continue in very, very slow motion. But then you can press the A button and you can speed up the process. So essentially you're an action star. Okay, you're on set, you're at a movie set. There's basically 5 movies to play out, which all five movies, there's 4 acts per movie, and the acts get longer as you go on. But generally, like if you do the first one, like it might take you probably 5 minutes to finish the first act, maybe a bit longer than that, but you'll die a lot. You'll die a lot. So the first one, the one that I actually completed, was like an Indiana Jones style.
Very cool.
So like one of the acts, for example, so some of them are shooting based, like kind of like a super heart where you'll have to punch the good and then like shoot before they shoot you, those kind of things.
So what's killing you when you're dying?
So what's killing me is the other enemies killing me.
Like they're shooting you?
Essentially. Okay. So they're shooting me. But there's more to it than that.
Can you dodge their bullets? Like, is it bullet time? Okay.
You can, but sometimes when it's a shotgun, it's like 8 bullets coming at you at once. So it's very difficult to dodge it. It can though, but it's fun because like every time you kill somebody, their gun goes flying in the air. So you want to try and catch their gun, because you only have like 3 bullets per gun per, so as soon as you run out of bullets or you miss the shot, then you just have to throw the gun and see if it hits them. If it hits them, you yeah, exactly. But it keeps it. There's more to it than just like the shooting aspect. There's different weapons. So sometimes there's like a wrench that you have to get. So there's like melee weapons. There's like a big ass bone. Sometimes, like as you know in Indiana Jones, you have the big ball that kind of comes through, right? So at one stage you're like fighting and you're trying to dodge the bullets, and all of a sudden this big ball comes crashing in, and that's when you stop. Okay. Environmental, and you got to get out the way as well. So there's environmental stuff. In the second one, it's more like a James Bond kind of thing where you're trying to do a break-in, and all of a sudden lasers come involved. So you've got these drones that are trying to attack you and enemies, but you realize quickly it's a lot of trial and error where you just got to leave the drones, let them shoot at you, because the laser's going to hit them eventually, and you just got to focus on dodging the lasers. And some of the times it's really difficult. Now, in the act, so let's say Act 1, there might be a bunch of scenes in that Act 1 where, like, let's say the 6th scene that you're in, Act 1, you die, you go straight back to the start. So your 4 acts that you have per, like, mission, they are like your checkpoints. Gotcha. In a way. So there's a bunch of story. It's not, yeah, so there's a bunch of scenes within those acts as well. So there's lots of environmental stuff. There's and it's so much fun. It's watching these scenes play out, and you get points in terms of when you finished the final like story itself. You get points for how many kills you made, because sometimes you can try and just keep dodging them, and then eventually the scene will play out, but then you'll lose points because there's one where you're on like a train. And there's like motorbike people who are like jumping across, and you can just leave them if you wanted to. Sometimes they are coming at you and you got to kill them, but sometimes they're coming across and you can just leave them. But if you get them, you get more points. There's like random hidden like coffee mugs that like shiny, where like if you hit that, then you get more points. If you press the
go ahead.
I was about to say, if you press the A button to speed up time, when you speed up time, you get more points as well. And it's fun. Like if you have the gun in your hand, when you speed up time, your revolver just keeps flipping around on your finger as well, which is really fun. So it feels like you're doing things in more flair as well. And then I think there's a couple more things that you can do to get more points as well. But yeah, really like headshots as well. So just really fun to play. It's a really fun game, and I just kept playing it more and more until I realized I still can't get past the second story. I keep dying.
Is there really always a camera and like a director that you can see?
No, but there's a director in your ear, so you can choose a woman director or a man director at the start, and then in your ear, like he's always peed off when you get the act wrong or something. It's like, okay, roll it again, do it again and such. It's actually fun. The tutorial, which is really quick, you're just in like a random like green screen room, and things are happening, and you're kind of getting used to the mechanics. And then there's also there's also these like 4 feature scenes which are just on the board next to you, and they look like they update every single week. And if you play those 4 feature scenes, and they can be you can get added to the leaderboards. So it looks like every week they're going to update these 4 scenes. They're going to be scenes from the actual game, but you can just keep playing them to get like better scores and kind of climb up the leaderboards. But really fun concept, really hard to complete, really hard to master as well. But I can see if you keep playing over and over and over and over again and kind of get the rhythm, you could really get fast at this. And yeah, the second story got exhausting to me because I just couldn't do it anymore. I think I've replayed it like maybe 30, 40 times, and I couldn't get past that first act. And I was like, okay, I can't. I just got to sit.
Take a break
before we film this pod. But yeah, Samson, I think you'll love it. I think you'll have such a fun time with this one. You should definitely. You have the key as well,
yes,
right?
I have just redeemed it. Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, really fun.
Very nice. Sounds like a tootin' good time.
It is, and it's kind of like Pistol Whip, where they've got plenty of room to add more missions. Like in the future, they could add more DLC with like another story, another couple stories, or something like that. But yeah, I love this game. It's so much fun. Another great game to add to your like Trombone Champ, Max Mustard, those kind of like really fun VR games that kind of only work in VR. You know, the way they're made. But
very nice. So you've had Indiana
Samson,
Jones. And you said there's James Bond, but you don't know what the next.
I'm trying to think if I remember what the other missions were. No, you do definitely see them when you're in there. The posters are there.
Is one James Cameron's Jaws?
I think maybe. Yeah, that's the bootleg version. That's the bootleg version. Anything else you've been playing before you wrap this part up?
Well, I got into Trombone Champ again some more. This time I've been playing a bit on the PlayStation VR. It's just a fun, silly time. I was playing and my girlfriend's daughter was watching. She's like, they're crying and frowning. I was not doing so hot on
You're doing a bad job
on that song. But yeah. Great time, Trombone Champ, if you want to have a tooting good time. But really, and so on Quest, you can add so many custom songs, and it's so silly. It sounds ridiculous. And I'm having a great time. I'm having more fun with Trombone Champ in VR than I ever did. And I did get a kick out of it in flat. I was so bad at flat, but I can actually play in VR. I wonder if I could play trombone. I'm not going to get ahead of myself though.
You got to get.
Well, it's a lot. It's the buzzing of the lips. I could never do that.
Notes. Yeah,
you know,
that was pretty good. That was pretty good. You pretty had.
I was a saxophone player, so it was more with the reed, but sometimes the reed would vibrate. My teeth, I did not like. I'm not a musician, anyway.
Fair enough.
And then I got into so there's this app called the Christmas Carol VR, and it's in App Lab, and except I had to like do the early access type of thing when I accepted this app. And I don't know really what I expected, but I didn't expect what I saw. And so what happened was I got tickets. They were free for a show at 2:00. So I logged into the app at about between 5 and 10 of, and you're put into a room. And this room, you choose a name. I picked Samson because that's what I wanted to be named.
Yep. That's your name.
And you end up being like this sort of sphere light ball, and you can float around this room or teleport around this room. There was 7 or so people in this room with me, I think. You cannot talk, but you can like see the other spheres. And there were a few things to look at in this room. It didn't seem like much to do. I was just wasting time. Then an actor comes in who's like an avatar, but like seems like a person. But they use your name, and I'm assuming that they weren't saying Samson to everybody else. So I think it was like a part where they sort of, you know how you get a computer to just say whatever name? They must have done that. but they might not have, because there were only 7 of us there. So in theory, the person could have like in that amount of time just recorded, and I had to get the tickets. I had to get the tickets ahead of time. But anyway. So it's at this point, it seemed what I expected and kind of cool. But then it began. And it kind of felt like I was at my high school theater black box. And all of a sudden, we're just like, we're in VR, Dan. The what you can do is nearly endless here. And we end up being in this sort of dark space with a not very nice looking castle wall kind of around us. And there's like 5 objects, like Unity objects there. And they're sort of like the theater pieces, if you will. One's sort of a window, one's a desk. And they set the scene, if you will. And then there's Scrooge. And Scrooge is kind of like a doll almost that this narrator person can control. But he can also, then he like started acting like and interacting with the actor. So it kind of seems like something the actor could control. Anyway, this is what I saw. And it went on for about 15 minutes, and I was just like, I don't know that I can sit through an hour of this, and I've got places to go and people to see, and so I quit out of the app. And but if you're into A Christmas Carol and you want to see a sort of a VR theater interpretation of A Christmas Carol, and you expect what I've just told you to expect, perhaps it could be up your alley. I wanted something more extravagant, more wondrous, more thrilling to the eyes, as opposed to wanting to watch like a theater piece. That was like, my headspace is not in the theater piece headspace.
So it's funny. This is completely live. So they're recording this live at the time in New York. In New York itself. And here's the cool thing. What you're watching so far has been the preview performance on December 13th when this podcast goes live. Have I got that right? Yeah. December, I don't know. Yeah, December 13th. It's the proper opening night. So their first opening night. So maybe it's more like testing right now. But Friday the 13th at 7 p.m. is opening night. So I might leave the link to this in the show notes, and if I forget, I'm sorry, go Discord me and I'll send you the link. But it's A Christmas Carol VR. If you just type that in on Google, it's the first result, and tickets are absolutely free for the whole rest of this Christmas. And December 13th opening night, but then they've also got 2 performances on the 14th, the 15th, and then same again the following weekend, 20th, 21st, 22nd. And then from Tuesday the 24th, they're just doing just on Tuesday the 24th, they're doing free all-day streamathon previously recorded performances. So you can watch it previously recorded. But the cool thing is that they're doing it live, and they're doing it just like the theater, which is crazy.
And it makes way more sense. That is cool. Now.
Yeah.
I totally understand. It's just not what I necessarily wanted, but it is very cool to know that that's happening live in New York from Saturday. In New York, here we are. That'd be great transition.
So that's wicked. I think if you go in with that kind of lens, I think you just maybe appreciate what's happening more.
It's all in framing. That's all.
Yeah, really, really cool. I might try and I'm maybe not opening because I know I will forget, but I'll try and do one of these just to see what it's like. At least
it's free, so that's why I tried it for
see what it is. Yeah, very good, very good. All right, that's A Christmas Carol in VR and Samson. That's everything, right? In terms of what we've been playing. Perfect. All right, that will do for part 2. In part 3, we have quite a few games out this week, so we're just going to get into those before we wrap up the show. So we'll see you in part 3. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. back to the show. All right, welcome back to part 3 games out this week. Samson, there's 6 games on the list. Because you've been talking quite a lot. I'll take the first because you spoke a lot.
It's a doozy.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
X8 Contra Super Wallstorm. The omnipotent AI index rules over X8 and aims to expand its dominion outside. I said that right, didn't I? Outside its digital boundaries.
You nailed it.
In order to acquire more power, it self-trains absorbing other digital worlds. This time it was Contra, Operation Galaga. Play as Contra's legendary heroes Bill and Lance, and with the exclusive Supreme skins, these iconic side-scrolling heroes are now fully playable in VR, bringing the action to a whole new level. Team up with your friends and assault the Red Falcon military base in this exciting new co-op survival game mode. Unleash devastating new powers and survive relentless onslaught of Red Falcon's forces. Face iconic enemies like the bird-human Garth, a deadly flying foe, or the armadillo bomb, which is far more dangerous up close. The Super Wall, the terrifying final boss that promises to make your mission hell on Earth. That is X8 Contra Super Wallstorm. Samson, you ever played a bit of Contra back in the day? Way back in
Contra,
the day?
yeah, but I have not played X8, really. This is like an update to X8, basically.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. I've not played X8 either, but it's that kind of like arena Quake style shooter itself. But yeah, really cool for Contra fans anyway. Samson, what else we got?
Yep. Rest up those vocal cords because you're up next. Exercise your demons. Let's get pumped. Unleash your inner beast and battle back hordes of demons and beads of sweat and exercise your demons with the finest fitness trainers from the Infernal Gymnasium guiding your every move. You'll throw down in your living room to save the world from an untimely demonic demise. Exercise your demons.
This actually looks kind of fun. It's a mixed reality game where demons come into your... it's just like cartoony demons and you just kind of fight. So it's not for... I'm not going to lie, most of these games that we're going to go through are probably not ones I want to pick up with everything that we got to play, but this actually looks kind of fun. Gives me kind of Grocket vibes in a way, in terms of the mixed reality.
The demons?
Yeah, and those. Okay, next one, because we have loads. Clone Drone in the Hyperdome. No, I said that wrong. Clone Drone in the Hyperdome. Sword fight with killer robots in VR. Watch as limbs fly off a single cut of your energy blade. You are Blink, a teleporting robot who is the newest loop runner gladiator to complete in the crash loop of a deadly roguelike tournament to the death. Die and reawaken in the endless loop, leap over lava pools, avoid turret fire, and take down waves of enemy defendroids. Battle your fellow loop runners for a chance to fight the captain in the Hyperdome. In between runs, you get to know other loop runners and learn the secrets of Crash Loop. Take the sides in these rivalries and let your sword do the talking to win their favor. Samson, Clone Drone in the Hyperdome.
I do love a good rhyme.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this game at all?
No thoughts.
I like the art style. It's very like Minecrafty pixelated art style, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't really have many thoughts about this one either. All I was thinking of when we went through that thing is that they said Loop Runner Gladiator. I watched Gladiator 2 on the weekend.
What'd you think?
Did not think it was great.
Oh, I heard good things. This kind of reminds me of like the 8-bit layer course, honestly. Like, gives me those vibes.
So there's that art style and vibes.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Yep, moving right along. Bridge Constructor Studio. Bridge Constructor Studio is a must-have for fans of engineering puzzles and creative sandbox games. Wait, you see it to be a fan of both of those things? Oh, that's niche. All right. Whether you're designing a sturdy structural masterpiece or experimenting with wild and weird works, the possibilities are endless. Brain-teasing 70 puzzle campaign. Test your construction expertise with dozens of distinct bridge building puzzles across varied biomes, 7 different vehicles, and multiple construction materials: wood, steel, cables, concrete pillars, and roadways. Ensure each puzzle's a fresh and varied challenge.
So you got it.
Nailed it.
But you forgot the next step.
No, that's it. We're done. Limitless creativity with no budget restrictions or material limits. You're free to experiment and design without constraints. For an extra challenge, earn a special award by keeping costs within a set budget, while ensuring your bridge holds up under pressure.
I love that reading. This, I don't know if you were ever into bridge constructor games back in the day.
It does sound fun.
I did play my fair share on the iPhone or iPod Touch or whatever. This one looks great. It's a mixed reality bridge constructor game, so you're kind of like, just using your finger to map out bridges to try and hold as the lorries or trucks or cars or whatever go over. And it looks great. It looks really good. It looks really polished. This is another game that probably, this as well as maybe Exercise Your Demons, I would have picked up if it wasn't such a busy period of games. But one for the sales.
These days.
One for the sales. Home sports. Whether you're hosting a friendly match or showing off your skills, Home Sports brings the action to life with pickleball, hockey, bowling, mini golf, and badminton, all designed for social fun. Get ready to play, laugh, and move like never before in mixed reality. 5 sports, enjoy pickleball, again, hockey, bowling, mini golf, and badminton at the comfort of your own time. Fun with friends. Invite up to 3 friends to join you locally or online and compete in thrilling multiplayer action. Local multiplayer with this one. That's kind of fun.
Oh boy.
Customize your experience with every sport adapts to your personal play space, making it easy to jump straight in the action. Home Sports is packed with endless entertainment, laughter, and competition, whether you're aiming for a hole-in-one in mini golf or defending the net in hockey. It's kind of like your classic Wii Sports kind of game. I'm interested to see the reviews of this one. I mean, it's Resolution Games, who also published... goddamn! I'm blacking today. Racquetball? No, Racket Club. As well. So that's a good thing. And also, like the art style is very Racket Club-esque. So, and it seems that kind of way.
Racket Club.
It's a great game. It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just curious to see what the reviews are. And yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
There you have. So Action Hero, which we've heard a lot about. But in Action Hero, you can punch rabid dinosaurs, battle shotgun-wielding ninjas, and dodge devious traps. In Action Hero, a blockbuster VR FPS with explosive set pieces and cinematic design. Punch.
What?
Dan, you were going to have me reread the exact same thing twice.
Oh,
you tried to do it to me. It's the exact same sentence. I'm not falling for it. I'm not rereading Punch Rabbit Dine. I almost did it too. That
was, you know what? When I was writing the script, I was going to leave something in there because of you just to read it out and it would be hilarious. But I couldn't think of what. And I unintentionally posted this one twice. It looks like I probably missed half of the thing then that they put down, but never mind. We've heard a lot about Action Hero. So we know what that game is and such, but damn it, I wish you did actually read it. It would have been hilarious. But you almost did. You almost did. Sweet. That's Action Hero. My pick, if you're going to pick up any game this week or last week, save a bit of money on Behemoth if you only got it on Quest and maybe wait till the jankiness is kind of gone. But Action Hero, smooth as butter, plays perfectly. Go pick up that, as well as Trombone Champ, and you're going to have a great Christmas, to be honest. Or for less than the price of Behemoth. But Behemoth's good too.
Trombone Champ is cheap.
It is. It's like $15 or something. It's just peanuts. Nowadays is peanuts. But yeah, that's everything. Samson. That's our show. Next week, like I said, we're going to go through. It's going to be a long one, although the last few episodes have been way longer than this one, to be honest, because of the guests that we've had. But next week, we're going to go through all of 2024, break it down, tell you what our favorite games are, or our favorite kind of experiences that we played. And let us know. You can let us know on Discord. You know what your favorite games that you played this year, as well as you can always write in if you're not on Discord. letstalkoculus@gmail.com. You can always email the show as well. I feel like I don't plug that enough, and such. That's all. I've been Dan. He's been Samson.
I've been Samson. I always thought that was weird how the Brits say that. I've been. Like, what does that mean to say I've been your name? Like I've been. Like I'm always Samson. I haven't been Samson. I am Samson. I'm forever Samson. I'm going to be Samson later. Like, I haven't been Samson. I'm like, what does it mean? Why do you all say that?
You know what? I don't know. And let's leave it at that. Take care, everyone.